Hi everyone, welcome back to Miller Music Studios. I'm Diane Miller, your piano teacher, and I think there's something that I could benefit all of you in talking about technique, because I'm noticing that when someone tells you curve your fingers and you curve them and then technique still isn't just right, what's going on here? Okay, let's get into it together. Okay. So, if someone says to you, curve your fingers, that's usually what happens, or very often this happens. And you are curving your fingers, right? Because, we've got this joint here, we've got this joint here, and look, they're curved, right? All right, then how come when we go to play, it's hard to do? Or some people will be like this. It's still not working very well. Okay, well, then someone might say, all right, well, what you really need is a flat wrist. Okay, now you curve your fingers, and it's still not working very well. So, what's missing? What's missing is what's called the bridge of the hand. The bridge of the hand is where these knuckles are, right here. So if you make a fist, you'll see those knuckles, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 knuckles. And then if you have your hand on the piano like that with a flat wrist and you're making a fist, you open your hand. If you can open your hand gently and keep these knuckles up, and now play with tapping. I'm going to start with my pinky actually. I'm going to tap, 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 tap. I'll go back down. Tap, 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 tap. That's actually a movement that we can make pretty easily. So when we're sitting at the piano, first off, you want to make sure that the white keys, I think usually they're about the bottom or the middle of the white keys here on the side, is the same level as your elbow. And if that's the case and your wrist is level like this, with little children, I say, let's think that this is a bridge and there's cars going back and forth on this bridge. If your wrist goes up, whoops, the cars are going to fall down, right, and off. If the wrist goes down, they're going to fall into the water down there. So we want to keep the bridge so that the cars can go over the bridge. In the meantime, there's boats going underneath the hand, under the bridge. Okay, now, if you start playing and you see your wrist going up, now you're not going to have facility and ease at the piano. If you're playing and your wrist goes down, that's going to be pretty hard also. I think even harder. So when I'm with my students, if I see that happening, I reach over and I make sure that they feel what it's like to have support under their wrist. And if I see it going up, I tell them, we've got to get this down. We've got to have that nice and level. So I hope this helps. There's something else I could mention before we stop talking about this. If our hand is, pretty close together, like the 5 on a C and a 1 on a G, yeah, you can see your knuckles pretty well if you have a bridge. But what if I have a C and an A? Then the knuckles are still there, but what about a C and a B? Do you see them starting to go down and my wrist starting to go up? What if it's an octave, a C and a C? Now this is the fulcrum that we're going from. And what about even higher? If you really stretch your hand out a lot, then these knuckles do go down. But then as your hand gets closer together again, the fulcrum is here. This is what it's swinging from for each of our fingers. So I hope that that helps. When you play a chord, like a C, E, G chord, you're going to have your knuckles up, hopefully. Let's say I have a C7 chord, C, E, B flat. I can still see my knuckles. But if I had like a huge chord like this, then look at that. Then the wrist goes up again. So I hope that helped. And if you still have questions, or you can think of a situation where you're playing certain notes or certain note patterns or chords, and you'd like for me to address that for you, please write it in the comments and I'll be happy to make that video as well. Okay, happy practicing. Here's your kiss.